Today is Monday, February 11th. We're talking about the two politicians holding battling rallies at the border today, and an update about Amazon CEO claiming he was blackmailed, plus a rare snowstorm, a new football league, and the highlights from the Grammys. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. It's a big week for Congress. Lawmakers have until Friday to make a deal about funding a border wall, or there might be another partial government shutdown. Today, President Trump will be at the border for a rally in El Paso County, Texas, to promote what he says is a much-needed border wall or barrier. He mentioned the area in his State of the Union speech last week. Literally at the same time, Texas Democrat Beto O'Rourke plans to lead a protest. USA Today reports O'Rourke will hold an anti-wall march that goes right by the president's rally, and then he'll be speaking right across the street. O'Rourke has called the wall racist and unnecessary. So where do negotiations stand for funding that wall? Well, the Washington Post reports lawmakers seem to be making progress and negotiating, but that's all stalled now. And some say it's 50-50 if they'll make a deal by Friday. If not, the government will shut down again, which means hundreds of thousands of federal workers would not get paid. In fact, NBC News says we haven't fully recovered from the last shutdown that lasted 5 weeks. More than 25% of workers still have not received their back pay, and some government contractors haven't gone back to work at all. Plus, some government agencies are still working to catch up. So, will we face another shutdown? Stay tuned. New regulations on abortions were supposed to be in effect in Louisiana today, but the U.S. Supreme Court blocked it. The AP reports the law would have essentially closed 2 of the 3 abortion clinics left in the state. Instead, the highest court temporarily blocked the law in a 5-4 vote. It was a surprise that Chief Justice John Roberts, who often votes with conservatives, voted with the more liberal-leaning justices. But this isn't over yet. It's just more of a pause on this case. The New York Times reports the Supreme Court will likely deal with this case again in October. It's the richest man in the world versus America's best-known tabloid. And now both the AP and the New York Times cite sources saying federal prosecutors are looking into it. Remember, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos claimed last week that the National Enquirer blackmailed him, threatening to release graphic photos of him if he continued investigating the tabloid. Bezos was looking into how the Enquirer got his personal text messages about an affair. Well, the AP reports an attorney for the Enquirer says no one ever blackmailed Bezos, that instead a reliable source told them about the affair. Either way, why the federal investigation? Well, the paper's parent company, American Media Incorporated, recently made a deal with prosecutors in a separate case. The company agreed to cooperate about its involvement in paying off a woman in 2016 who said she had an affair with now President Trump, and in exchange, no one at the paper will face criminal charges. The company was also supposed to stay out of legal trouble. So the question now is, did American media blackmail Bezos and break the law? And if so, that means they violated the agreement. To be continued. There's a rare snowstorm happening in the Pacific Northwest, where they're much more used to rain than they are snow. Well, now parts of Seattle saw more than 10 inches of snow this weekend. CBS News says it's the most the city has seen in 70 years. And there is more on the way. The National Weather Service says snow will continue to cover the area tonight and into tomorrow. AccuWeather reports Seattle could see 5 or more inches, while other parts of Washington could see up to 3 feet by tomorrow. Hundreds of flights have been canceled to and from the area, and thousands of people lost power. The Weather Channel says snow and rain from the storm will then make its way to the Midwest and the East later this week. A growing list of tourist destinations are banning certain sunscreens to protect the coral reefs in nearby waters. The latest city to do it? Key West, Florida. CNN reports city officials just voted to ban sunscreens with certain chemicals that research shows can bleach or damage coral reefs. The ban affects certain types of sunscreens from popular brands like Coppertone and Neutrogena. The mayor of Key West says there are a lot of sunscreens out there, but only one coral reef. Sunscreen makers aren't happy, though. They're pushing back on the research, and some wonder if this will create confusion and lead to fewer people using sunscreen overall. Hawaii passed a similar sunscreen ban last year, but you do have some time to adjust. Both bans don't go into effect until the year 2021. Much more news ahead, but first, thank you to our sponsor, Blinkist. We all know we're short on time, yet we try to be as productive as possible each day. Blinkist helps you with both, letting you learn more in a convenient and efficient way. It's the only app that takes the best key takeaways from thousands of nonfiction books and breaks them down for you into just 15 minutes. From self-help to business to history, 8 million people are already using Blinkist, including me. I love learning new things, but again, I'm busy. So Blinkist lets me fast-track my way to more information and self-improvement. And when you sign up, I recommend checking out Factfulness. I just read it on Blinkist, and it expands on some of the things we've talked about here on the show, like how extreme poverty is actually going down and that things aren't always as negative as they sometimes seem. Other great and popular books include The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I love that Blinkist makes it so easy to swipe through the valuable information in just minutes. And right now, you can go to Blinkist.com/news to start your free 7-day trial. That's Blinkist, spelled Blinkist, Blinkist.com/news to start your free 7-day trial. Now, back to the news. There is now officially a new pro football league, and it kicked off over the weekend. It's called the Alliance of American Football, or the AAF. USA Today says it's made up of 8 teams playing a 10-game regular season schedule. The new league has some former players and leaders from the NFL, although the rules and the policies are a bit different from the NFL, affecting everything from extra point attempts to timeouts, and there will be a so-called sky judge ready to call out wrong calls on the field. The first games were over the weekend, and now the season continues over the next few months. The championship game is in April. On her last race ever, the most successful female alpine skier, Lindsey Vonn, won the bronze medal. ESPN says Vonn was set to retire in December, but moved it up because of knee pain. The 34-year-old is the oldest woman to win a medal at a world championship, and she is the first woman racer to win 6 world championships. Amazon just launched a shopping channel similar to QVC. It's called Amazon Live. It's a show where guests present products, and then while you're watching, you can click on links to buy what they're talking about. Digital Trends says the channel launched, but it's not on Amazon's homepage, and it really hasn't gotten a lot of attention just yet. Amazon may want to test it out a bit first. Amazon actually tried something similar back in 2016, but took it down about a year later. So we'll see if this time works a little better. Facebook is investing more in artificial intelligence. Bloomberg reports the company just bought Grok Styles. It's a startup that uses AI to help users shop for furniture. IKEA has used it, for example. Users can take a picture of a piece of furniture, and the technology matches it with similar products online that you can buy. Bloomberg says the startup's technology could work well with Facebook's marketplace, and it's only one of several AI startups Facebook has acquired in the last few years. It was music's biggest night of the year last night, the 2019 Grammy Awards. So here are some of the highlights. Alicia Keys hosted the ceremony for the first time, and it all kicked off with a performance by Camila Cabello. Former First Lady Michelle Obama even made a surprise appearance and shared how music always helped her tell her story. There were 2 big tributes, one for Dolly Parton. She and her goddaughter, Miley Cyrus, sang together, and more stars came out to join and sing a mashup of Parton's famous songs. Also, Diana Ross celebrated her 75th birthday with a solo performance. Ross's 9-year-old grandson introduced her. Cardi B, Dan and Shay, and Lady Gaga also performed. In fact, Lady Gaga took home 3 awards, 2 with Bradley Cooper for their song Shallow from the movie A Star is Born. Post Malone sang his single Rockstar without 21 Savage, who, remember, was detained by immigration agents last week. Ariana Grande decided not to perform or even come to the show this year because of a disagreement with producers. Well, she won her first Grammy for Best Pop Vocal Album. Song of the Year and Record of the Year both went to Childish Gambino for This Is America, and Album of the Year went to Casey Musgraves for Golden Hour. Another bad weekend for the box office. Variety says the box office in North America is nearly 15% behind last year. The industry was banking on this weekend's premiere of the Lego Movie Part 2 to bring more people to the theaters. But it didn't do as well as creators hoped. It did top the box office charts with $34 million, but it was estimated to bring in at least 50. This was the smallest opening weekend in the Lego franchise. And that's it. You are all caught up from the weekend. And you can always read more about the stories we talked about here. I try to make it easy for you by listing all the stories and sources in today's show notes. Just go to the homepage of thenewsworthy.com, click episodes, and look for today's date. The Newsworthy is ready for you to listen every weekday by 4 in the morning. I'll be back with more news tomorrow. Have a great day.